Trump immigration policy under scrutiny at 4 simultaneous congressional hearings. Congressional Democrats waited 2 years for an opportunity to scrutinize the Trump administration's immigration policies, and on Wednesday they're going all in. Congress will host 4 simultaneous committee hearings, 3 in the Democrat-controlled House, that will analyze a wide range of actions taken by President Donald Trump to crack down on legal and illegal immigration. The hearings will feature the first testimony before the new Congress from Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan, and Homeland Security's Inspector General. Democratic leaders have been stepping up their oversight of the Trump administration in recent weeks, issuing their first subpoena last week and requesting documents on Monday from 81 agencies, entities and individuals with ties to Trump. Wednesday's hearings will explore the origins and implementation of the administration's zero-tolerance policy that led to at least 2,800 separations of migrant families, conditions in Border Patrol facilities that led to 3 deaths in 3 months, the decisions to terminate temporary deportation protections for more than 1 million people, and other controversial moves. It's going to be a day where the sunlight shines on what the Trump administration has been doing, said Ali Noorani, Executive Director of the National Immigration Forum, a group that advocates on behalf of immigrants. It's long past time that the administration has had to answer some real questions. Administration officials argue they are simply carrying out the mandate given to them when Trump won the 2016 election, largely by vowing to regain control of the nation's immigration system by whatever means necessary. That's why administration officials see Wednesday's gauntlet of hearings as little more than a series of political stunts aimed more at the 2020 elections than any actual concern for immigrants or the system they use to enter the country. Democrats are trying to set the stage for the election next year, trying to do opposition research on the taxpayers' dime, trying to shape the discussion of the issue more to their liking, said Mark Krikorian, Executive Director of the Center for Immigration Studies, a group that advocates for lower levels of legal and illegal immigration. They're doing what comes natural to an opposition party. But because it's Trump, they're dialing everything up to 11. Homeland Security Secretary testifies. Nielsen, who has been the public face of the Trump administration's immigration enforcement efforts, is the sole witness scheduled to testify before a House Homeland Security Committee hearing. The secretary has become one of Trump's longest-tenured cabinet members by implementing some of his most controversial orders and defending them wholeheartedly. Her department carried out family separations along the border, increased arrests of undocumented immigrants living throughout the U.S., and has overseen efforts to expand the southern border wall. That included a visit by Nielsen to Southern California in October to install a plaque with Trump's name on it to a section of replacement barrier that was approved under the Obama administration and completed last year. Her last appearance before Congress in December offered a hint of what may come on Wednesday, when she repeatedly clashed with Democrats on the committee. At one point, she responded to a Democratic member who accused her of lying about the department's family separation policy by saying, "Calling me a liar are fighting words." Customs and Border Protection Chief testifies. McAleenan, whose agency includes customs officers who work at ports of entry and Border Patrol agents who patrol the regions in between, has also come under fire for his agency's treatment of migrants along the southern border. 3 migrants, including 2 children, died in Customs and Border Protection custody in the past 3 months. The agency was criticized for firing tear gas into crowds of men, women and children in Tijuana in November as members of a migrant caravan tried to enter the U.S. to request asylum. McAleenan has said his agents are simply overwhelmed by a historic shift in migration patterns. In years past, most people attempting to cross the southern border were young men from Mexico trying to sneak across and avoid being arrested. The majority of migrants are now Central American families who seek out Border Patrol agents to request asylum, requiring agents to care for them while still patrolling for drug smugglers and undocumented immigrants. The commissioner is scheduled to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. DACA and TPS recipients plead for help. As Trump has focused on his border wall and congressional Democrats have focused on the treatment of minors along the southern border, Dreamers have found themselves in an unsettling, yet familiar position, on the back burner. In 2017, Trump tried to end the Obama-era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) program, which has shielded from deportation more than 800,000 Dreamers, or undocumented immigrants brought to the country as children. Federal courts blocked that move, and the Supreme Court has not yet taken up the case, meaning the program remains intact but far from secure. The Trump administration has also tried to phase out the Temporary Protected Status (TPS) program, which has allowed more than 300,000 foreigners from countries ravaged by wars and natural disasters to legally live and work in the U.S. A federal judge blocked that decision for 4 countries: El Salvador, Haiti, Nicaragua and Sudan, prompting the administration to postpone its efforts to end the program for 2 other countries, Honduras and Nepal. More than 75 DACA and TPS recipients are flying into Washington, D.C., to attend a hearing Wednesday before the House Judiciary Committee and lobby members of Congress to pass a law to protect them. Legislators briefly considered including permanent protections for them during the negotiations to end the government shutdown earlier this year, but they were eventually removed and find themselves starting from scratch. "I've set my expectations low, but I keep my hopes high," said Jesus Contreras, 25, a DACA recipient and paramedic from Houston who arrived in Washington on Tuesday to push for a DACA bill. "The majority of Americans want this to happen for us, it's just finding something these congressmen and women are going to sign." Homeland Security watchdog testifies. Until Democrats regained control of Congress, the only government groups scrutinizing the Trump administration were inspectors general in each department. On Wednesday, Homeland Security's watchdog is expected to appear before the House Appropriations Committee. The purpose of the hearing is to analyze the Inspector General's budget, but members are expected to wade into some of the 89 reports published in 2018. That included reports criticizing the implementation of the administration's family separation policy, its handling of disaster aid following Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, and other immigration enforcement concerns.